Bitcoin price and traditional markets all took a poo right when the person behind me went on camera on Tuesday afternoon. That kind of rhymes. I didn't mean to. And that's all in regard to the government giving a strong hint on camera that the U.S. plans to perhaps take a more aggressive approach to inflation, which is bad for the stock market. It spooked the stock market. You've heard me say a lot on my channel, Bitcoin is the primary indicator for your altcoins, right? If Bitcoin goes down, your altcoin, even though it's going up right now, if Bitcoin tanks, you need to keep an eye on Bitcoin, your altcoin's going to go down, right? Well, it's really unfortunate that the major trading indices for traditional markets, such as the NASDAQ Composite, SPX, SPY tickers, and NQ1 exclamation tickers, which is the future for the NASDAQ trading indice, those are the primary indicators for Bitcoin right now. And it really sucks that, I guess, a governor for the U.S. Fed can go on camera and spook everything all at once. And it's really even more unfortunate that Bitcoin is trading. It's almost like irony. Bitcoin was meant to be a risk-off asset, right? Almost like gold, but it's trading like a risk-on asset right now. And so what we're going to do in this video, although over the last 3 videos, I've been hinting that the more probable scenario is price will interact with a key level, then bounce off of it. Well, those key levels each have been, honestly, perfectly hit, but price went below it, used it as resistance, and went to the next level spoken about in each of those videos. So the not the most probable scenario played out over the last 3 videos. But what I want to do in this video is I want to show you specifically, even when my guess is wrong of what's the most probable, the tools that I give you, which when I say draw this on your chart, those are the tools, right? I want to show you that those were the tools to use. And regardless of my guess, even when I'm wrong, I'm really hoping that my content's valuable for you, because when I say draw this on your chart, if it goes below this, use it as resistance, bad, we're going to go over that, because I'm not going to be right all the time, especially when stuff like this can happen and make a less probable scenario play out. So I want to go over that. Plus, I want to give you the levels that I'm seeing down below for the next, essentially, downside targets if current support is broken. I'm going to show you what current support is, just like I have in my last videos. I'll ask you to put it on your chart. I'm not going to make any guesses about what Bitcoin's going to do at that key level. However, because I've been wrong the last 3 damn videos, but hopefully it's going to be the tool to be exactly looking at. If it's broken, I'll also give you the downside targets. And let's go get this video. Let's rock and roll on this red day. Here we go. The first thing to draw on your chart, actually, I need to change this background. That's kind of creepy having somebody looking over my shoulder like that. All right. First thing you need to draw on your chart is you need to have this ticker, okay? NQ1 exclamation. This is the futures for NASDAQ Composite, essentially. And it trades, I think, 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. So even at nighttime, it's going. You can have some hints on what Bitcoin's going to be doing, right? You need to draw that. So on that ticker, you need to draw on a horizontal at 14,430. Unfortunately, the primary indicator for Bitcoin right now, if it's going to break its current support, which we're going to go over, this is it. If price either tanks below this or goes below, use it as resistance, then heads back down, Bitcoin's going to the targets I'm going to give you. And Bitcoin will break. Even if Bitcoin is pumping at the time this indice is going like this, Bitcoin, that pump is going to fail, and it's going to come straight down and break the key supports, which is the weekly 10 EMA right now at about 43K. It's going to break it. So this is the tool. And I'm not going to make a guess whether it's going to bounce, because the last 3 videos, I've given the exact right tools, thank goodness, but I've made the wrong assumption on what's most probable. Actually, I might have made the correct assumption on what was most probable, but the less probable scenario came out. So I'm going to give you tools in this video. I'm not going to make any damn guesses because obviously last 3 haven't worked out. But these tools, and I'm going to show you also in this video, these tools really have been working out. So here we go. That's one. You need that. You need this on your charts. I'm telling you, especially like if you're looking to like DCA or anything, this is very, very important. Okay. The second important thing is what I've also talked about, another tool I've given you. On YouTube, I've been saying, please draw a line that floats across these lows on tether dominance, this ticker right behind us, so USDT.D. If it's used as support, roughly 3.8. If it's used as support, that increases the likelihood of a Bitcoin dump. And what's happened? This is the right tool. However, my guess was the way this would interact with the line was go below it, use it as resistance, go down. If this goes down, that means Bitcoin goes up. That was my guess. but it was the right tool to give. My guess of how it would interact is wrong, but it doesn't matter. I feel that I gave the right tool. I hope that you're following what I'm saying here. Yeah, my guess is, just went right out of the water as, it's to the exact hour too. If you time when that, what's her name? Lael Brannard went on camera, it's to the exact hour everything started taking. But at least we had the right tools and we had the right stuff to look at. Another thing, for example, on actually maybe even easier to see, an update I gave for my Discord community. Look at when I posted this, right as the first wick down to the monthly 10 EMA before it came back up to hit the monthly open, which is at 45,522. So I posted it right there saying, this is resistance, this is support number 2. So it could go boom, 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 all the way down, right? These are the exact tools I've given. In these updates, I don't give a guess, but these are the exact tools to use and you need on your chart. Now watch what's happened since then. Let's go to Bitcoin price. This is an example of me providing the right tools, but a less probable situation happened with those tools. These are the exact 3 things that were on that daily update, and the daily update happened here. Okay, so an example of tools being right, but my guess was wrong with the tools. That's when I posted the update. Where did it come up to? Exactly to the monthly open. When it came down and broke the support, where did it go? Right around support number 2, right? So the correct tools, however, my guess for continuation to the upside was incorrect. However, once we got an hourly closure back here, I did guess downside probability did increase quite a bit, but these are the right tools, okay? And so hopefully, most of you noticing, I've been saying, yeah, it's a little bit more probably get upside continuation. Over the last 3 videos, it's been wrong. I really hope that you're using the tools that I'm giving you. I cannot stress that enough. And maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better. I don't know. Hopefully that's not what I'm doing. But, so the first tool I gave you today, I cannot stress enough. So just showing the things, the levels I'm giving you are real things. This line here is the biggest thing to be looking at. Maybe second to Bitcoin price itself. This line on this ticker, I'm telling you, okay? You need that on your chart. Current support right now, another thing you need on your chart is the weekly 10. Weekly 10 EMA. Right now, something I don't really need you to draw on your chart, but what's holding this up right now, something I go over on my Discord community, I've gone over a little bit more, is it's the master origin line. Let me zoom out so you can see this. This is what's holding up Bitcoin right now. It's the most important straight line in all of Bitcoin price history. Without a doubt, you can't even argue it. It goes back 10, 12 years, right? And Bitcoin is currently being held up by that white line. So let's zoom into this point. And that's holding up the line. However, the weekly 10 is so close to that line that it's just easier to throw on the weekly 10, and if you're on small time frames, you can simply use the MTF indicator or MTF EMA indicator, and that's going to be close enough for you. It's probably the tool you need. So the current support right now is the weekly 10 EMA. If this breaks, I'm going to show you the next downside targets. Here we go. Are you ready? Ask questions directly to me with your camera and microphone on up to 8 times a week. Links to the Discord community within the description section of all my videos. Make sure you're following me on Twitter at cosasverdes with the number 2 for altcoin and Bitcoin updates alike. If online communities are not your thing, but you want exclusive content above and beyond what I provide for YouTube, click the join button right below this video, and another short video will pop up describing your options to you. All right, that's current support. Now, downside targets, I'm going to use the macro tilted range, something I've posted all over Twitter all the time and something I've used on my channel a whole bunch. This is what I'm going to be using, all right? Now I'm going to zoom out to the 2-hour chart. So if this red line breaks, so I can take it off. If that breaks, that's the tool you need. That's the main tool. If that breaks, here is where it's probably going next. I'm going to give you my best guess of tools to be using, all right? I'm not going to guess what price does as it gets there, but I'm trying to show you the tools that I think are going to be most valid. Is a horizontal line somewhere around 37.7. I think that's going to be a key tool for you because buyers from 3 different walks of life, looking at 3 totally different things, 3 different groups will come in all at once at that point. if this weekly 10 breaks. For example, take that off. People who don't have any idea what a trading channel is, who aren't, actually, let's take it off. One group of people will be looking at this trend line. That's one huge group of people, right? A lot of analysts on YouTube for crypto trade more patterns and shapes and stuff. That's not what I do, really. I trade structure, but not necessarily shapes. So a huge group of buyers will come in at this level. Look what intersects with it. People who trade EMAs, bam. Look at the weekly 89 EMA, also coming in. And if you extend it, so let's go like this, extend that into here, it crosses with it. What else crosses with that, okay, is the macro tilted range, the bottom of the quarter zone, which is this orange area here. See this orange area? Let me zoom in. This orange area here, okay, top line, bottom line. And the bottom line of this orange area has clearly gotten a lot of things right within price history. You see that? And if you go back even farther, it gets like the top of the 40K. Let's go look at it. So this line's really important. Actually, no, it doesn't get the top. That's the point of control. But it gets a bunch of touch points here. So the bottom orange line here. So look, touch point, touch point, touch point, touch point. Resistance, overall resistance, resistance, resistance. It's a big, this line's a big deal. And then it finally started being used as support in late February through March. That also intersects. So now you have three different things intersecting, right? Essentially a trading zone, which is one group of buyers would step in. EMA people will, see the weekly 89 as support. And then folks who trade shapes and patterns will be seeing this. I really think that, 37, it might be 37.8 by the time it gets there, but roughly 37.7 to 37.8, okay? I'm just going to call it 37.7. Because if Bitcoin takes a little while to get there, it'll be 37.8 because it's ascending by that time, right? So maybe call it 37.8. But whichever one. Pick a number, maybe even make a box of that $100 difference. That is going to be a key area if the weekly 10 breaks. And you don't have to have all three of these things as a tool. You can literally just draw a box, like use the box tool or draw a straight line around 37.7 or 37.8. I think that's going to be a key tool. If the weekly 10 breaks and Bitcoin price doesn't get all the way there because the traditional markets turn around on a dime or, the dust settles, the next tool that you would want is somewhere around 40,400. And that equates to the top of the quarter zone here, the orange area. That's simply the top line. However, I think that is a far second to the first trading tool because there aren't going to be a ton of groups of buyers stepping in at that level at 40,400. However, that could be a level in which Bitcoin uses traditional markets as a primary indicator and it bounces there, mostly due to the traditional markets trading algorithms also buying Bitcoin. I don't think it would necessarily bounce because of Bitcoin chart alone, but if it bounces because if it breaks first and then bounces before getting to 37.7, I would say that is my second most likely tool that will come into play. However, I think much more probable than that if the weekly 10 breaks right here. I think it's way more probable 37.7, and then the second most probable is a potential bounce at 40,400. And again, these are levels if it bounces there. And here's why. So it's not guaranteed it's going to bounce there. These are simply the tools. And again, in this video, I'm not going to make a guess at what happens when price interacts with the tools I'm giving you, but rather these are the tools you're probably going to have to use, right? And in my last three videos, my guess has been wrong, but the tools given, it's been pretty spot on. Although my guesses have been wrong. All right, of what's most probable. At least, yeah. Anyway, so this is why though. This is why I'm saying a big if it bounces. Okay, it's not guaranteed, but let me show you why. Let me get rid of that trend line. Let me take off the EMAs. This could really go a lot farther down, folks. All right, I'm going to throw back on the origin lines so the master origin line is the white one, okay? This is the master origin line. All this is the trading channel, and we've been over this a lot on my channel. Historically, when Bitcoin goes below this origin line, works its way back up, has a pump above it, and comes back below it, that's not good. That's not good to come back below it after you've proven yourself on it. Currently, it's bouncing on it, but if it breaks, it's going to be really bad long term because Bitcoin can come back up, use it as resistance, and then capitulate. This is like last line of defense macro style stuff. This line, it's the most important straight line in all Bitcoin history. To go back below it again, I mean, you would really have to have a strong move almost immediately getting back above it. And if that doesn't happen, then the percentage chances of a capitulation, even though I just lowered them because of the strong monthly close of March, closed above the monthly 10, which is a big deal. So I recently had a high percentage chance of a capitulation in 2022. And on April 1st, I lowered that percentage chance to roughly a 50-50. But what would increase that 50% chance of capitulation 2022, what would then again increase it, is if Bitcoin can't hold this, and that's roughly the weekly 10. Look, I'll throw the weekly 10 on, and it's, here, let me get all this trading, or this drawing off. The weekly 10's right at it. That's why the weekly 10 is going to be, it's like the key tool right now, outside of the straight line on the NASDAQ futures chart that I showed you. I mean, that line and the weekly 10 are really important. So the weekly 10 is conveniently right at the master origin line. And if we go back in time, so Bitcoin's really only gone below it once. That was coronavirus. Look, went below the master origin line, found support, had a pump, went back below it, bad. This line. And it started accelerating down. Where? Right at that line. Right as it lost that line. It's not a coincidence. It's the most important line, straight line in all of Bitcoin price. You can't find a more important straight line. And what happened right after? It came straight back up to it. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Pull back. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Pull back. Blast. See that big, look, this big candle, it's not a coincidence. It happened right at that line. Because it was the third try to get above. This candle closed above. The next candle, kablam. Most important line in all Bitcoin history. And that is this, but this reaction to the upside, it will be the inverse, potentially, if Bitcoin falls below it and can't immediately get back above. There are going to be a lot of sellers coming in. I don't know why it happens, but this line is magical. And so that was an aggressive buy, but when price right before that went below it, it got aggressive to the downside right at this line. So although I'm giving you these tools, I want to give you this warning. It is possible that, it's possible. I'm not saying it's probable, but it's one scenario to think of, and just keep in the back of your mind. Bitcoin price could blow right through the tools I'm giving you. It is possible because just buyers or sellers could really step in. And the stock market could really take another leg down if that level's broken. And it would strongly increase the percentage chance of capitulation rather soon. Hasn't happened yet. The conditions for that to happen have not happened yet. I don't want to totally scare anybody, but I want you to keep that thought in your mind because it could happen and it could happen soon. And despite my analysis recently, I've been thinking continuation to the upside, but you need that thought in the back of your mind. Capitulation could be soon, and people holding tether, good for you. That's actually good news because you want lower prices if you're mostly in tether, like over 50%. That's actually good news. But so hopefully these tools you find useful. Just as a recap, weekly 10 is the current support plus the straight line, the horizontal on the NASDAQ futures chart that I gave you. You really need those on your charts right now. You need to be looking at them if you're clicking around with your money or planning on DCAing or whatever. All right. And then the supports. So if that's broken, the supports down below, roughly 37.7, I think would be the next target. Hopefully you like the tools that I'm giving you. And I hope I didn't accidentally make any guesses in this video. So I'm just giving the tools, and you need to watch these tools and how price interacts with them. Go ahead and click this video right here if you want to learn how to set up a chart just like mine, and click this video right here on why several months ago I thought capitulation in 2022 would happen between May and August. You just got Timified Worldwide. Peace.